In most of my previous videos, I've revealed time-tested tips and psychologically proven tricks to get the girl of your dreams. Still, they've mostly tackled approaching women you already have some familiarity with. But what about when you're just a stranger on the internet? Well, at the end of this video, you'll have a simple formula to slide into any girl's DM and stand out from the other guys trying to grab her attention. Before I reveal my best tips to go from strangers to lovers, I need to make sure you're not making these two fatal mistakes that could blow up your chances. As a guy, I know there's an overwhelming temptation to slide into a girl's DM once one of her pictures or videos goes viral. Maybe you're just seeing her page for the first time, or you've been interested for a while but finally decided it's time to act after she posted something you really like. But you've just made it 10 times harder to stand out because you're now one of several guys in her DM trying to get her attention. For the highest chance of success, I want you to avoid sending any woman a direct message when she's receiving more attention than usual. Even with the best pickup lines, grabbing her attention would be like wearing a blue shirt and expecting her to spot you in a crowd of men wearing the exact same colour. If you want her to actually read your message, you need to exercise patience and go in when her DMs are less saturated with men she considers a nuisance. That brings me to the second fatal mistake you're probably making. So you waited out the crowd and now there's a lot less clutter in her DM. You're even lucky enough to get a reply after sending the most mundane text in history. Hi, despite getting your foot in the door, you'll most likely never see that girl in person, and let me show you why. You. Hi. Her. Hello. You. How are you? Her. Fine. You. You. Where do you live? If you continue to send unimaginative follow-up questions like these, she's going to eventually get bored and start ignoring you. Keep in mind that you're not friends, and she probably has a job or school, so it's not like this conversation is going back and forth. That means, after 2 hours of being away from her phone, she's just coming back to a very unstimulating message. Bro, even I would leave you on read. Now that we're done with the don'ts, we're going to talk about how exactly you can make yourself stand out in her DM. But before that, I need you to understand something important about women. There's no point expecting her to help you carry the conversation. When you slide into a woman's DM, you're like a salesman trying to convince her to buy something. And just like the salesman wouldn't expect you to tell them how great their product is, you shouldn't expect her to engage you initially. That means you have to be ready to drive the interaction. And if you watch my video on how to master the art of conversation with women, you'll never run out of things to say. With that said, you still need to lay the groundwork for your first message. So if you're not mutuals already, go ahead and like 2 of her posts and follow her. But whatever you do, don't like more than 3. You want to give her the impression that you stumbled on her page, scanned through a bit, liked what you saw, and decided to follow her casually. When you like too many pictures at once, especially if they're only the ones where she looks sexy or much older posts, you look like a predator on the prowl. But liking 2 or 3 shows a decent amount of interest without making you look too much like a stalker. It also ensures that you pop up in her notifications and increases the chances of her viewing your profile and following you back. Can you see why I warned you against sliding into her DM when one of her posts just went viral? If you do that, you'll become one of 416 others that liked it, and she'll never notice you. After she has given you a follow back, or at least had the chance to view your profile because her DMs and notifications are less cluttered, go ahead and reply one of her stories. Now I need you to pay close attention because what you say will either prompt her to reply or ensure you never hear from her. Instead of going with a generic hi or compliment that will leave you with nothing to say after a perfunctory thank you, you need to ask her a question that she'll want to answer. It could be something as harmless as, I've heard about this restaurant, was the food as good as it looks? The trick is to stay away from yes or no questions because you want her to make the conscious effort to engage you. In this scenario, she's more likely to leave you with a review of her meal. After breaking the ice, you need to keep the conversation flowing while ensuring your replies are fun and flirty. Here's an example of how the rest of that conversation might go after she's given you a review of her meal. You. Thanks for the feedback. Hopefully I'll get a chance to visit when I have a special date. Also, I'm not at all surprised you ordered a margarita. Her. Why is that? You. I've noticed that girls that like margaritas tend to be social butterflies and love making new friends. Am I right? Her. Ha 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 ha. That sounds exactly like me. But I'm a Gemini, so it's not surprising. You. I don't really believe in that zodiac stuff. Can you believe I don't even know mine? Her. That sounds like something a Virgo would say. When is your birthday? You. If I tell you, should I be expecting a present? Notice how there's a question with almost every reply to invite the girl to say more. Besides, the reply in the first sentence also indirectly hints at a potential date without flat out saying it. I'm not saying all your conversations will go exactly like this one, but they do have to be light and engaging in a way that keeps her on the edge of her seat, waiting for a reply. When you've settled into a comfortable and possibly flirty conversation, you need to move things forward before she gets bored of the interaction. button. If you've been talking for 2 days, consider sending her a voice note so she gets accustomed to the sound of your voice. Trust me, she'll most likely send one back, and it's a great way to stand out from the other guys she may be simply texting. Besides, listening to your voice also adds an extra layer of intimacy to your conversation, which could get her to feel more attracted to you. After a couple days of swapping voice notes, you could work up the courage to ask for her number and hop on FaceTime. Video calling can deepen the connection between you two, which is exactly what you want if you're looking to take things offline eventually. The point is that you don't want to stay relegated to the position of someone in her Instagram DMs, so always look for a way to move things forward by engaging with her on other platforms. The end goal of sliding into a woman's DM is to establish an online connection that you can eventually take offline. With that said, you should always remember your main goal isn't just to get her to reply, it's to agree to a date. After laying the groundwork with flirty conversation and sending voice notes, you should start planning something. Even if it's only coffee, you need to meet up in person as soon as possible, so you don't just exist as another guy on her phone. You'll stand a much better chance of success if you suggest an activity you've previously discussed, because there's already the added benefit of not having to look for something you think she might be interested in, and you can bring it up casually. Using our earlier example, asking her out could go like this. You, hey, I'm ready to check out that restaurant you went to. Will you be my special date on Saturday night? You can order as many margaritas as you like. Her, you know I can't say no to a margarita. It's a date. And that's how you slide into her DMs and stand out from the crowd. When you finally manage to take things offline, you can have her falling head over heels for you with these 7 psychological tricks to make any girl obsessed with you. Also, if you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on more of my videos.